Hi everyone! We are going to shoot a new Mythic Games video, and this time it's going to be Darkest Dungeon.
Hey!
Hello!
Hello everyone! So, we are going to shoot Darkest Dungeon in the Mythic offices, and we have 3 guests from Mythic Games, and that I'm going to introduce. So here is Antoine.
Hi!
We have Séverine.
Hello.
We have Erwan.
Hey!
And we have already chosen our characters, right? So I'm going to play the Crusader because I really like the Crusader, and he's an iconic
A mighty
character.
sword
So
arm anchored
he's
by
kind of
holy
a
purpose.
buff guy.
A zealous
he's
warrior.
Tank. He doesn't move very fast, but he usually is pretty good at hitting the enemies. Antoine, what are you gonna have?
So I'm going to play the Vestal, so kind of the healer of the group, because I think we may need that at some point.
We may.
Yeah, we absolutely may need a heal at some point.
So she's a healer,
Yeah.
but she can also do some damage from...
Yeah,
A
she does
sister
some
of battle, pious
pretty
and
nice
unrelenting.
damage, if I manage to be in range of the enemies. And yeah, I'd rather not be too in range, because 12 life points is pretty low.
Yes, 12 is not much, I confirm. What about you, Séverine?
I'm playing the Highwayman. So he's a pretty tough guy.
Elusive,
He really hits hard,
evasive,
and he plays
persistent.
with pistols. That means he
Righteous
plays
traits
from
for a
long
rogue.
distance. And that's very useful when you have enemies that run fast or that are pretty dangerous.
And do you like this character?
Yeah, very much. He's very... he's one of the first characters,
Yes, in
At
the
the
video
beginning
game.
of the
Yeah,
game?
absolutely, yes.
and he's very useful.
Okay, what about you, Erwan?
Well, I settled on the Jester because we need some
Jester.
support to go
You
with
will
the
be
healer.
laughing
So
still.
I'm gonna be mainly
at the
focusing
end.
on giving buffs to you guys and to relieve stress with the mandolin. Because we really need music in these dark times.
Isn't he kind of a weird character?
Yeah, he's a bit of an oddball. Like, he can dodge pretty well. He moves really fast, but he hits like a wet noodle. But he's good at supporting people and going everywhere, basically.
We ready to go?
I think so, yeah.
So, how do we... Well, let me first give you... Just to remind you how this game plays. So this is Darkest Dungeon. We are going to play as a campaign, and this is the first game of a campaign. So usually the ultimate goal is to enter the Darkest Dungeon and defeat the final boss. But before you can do that, you need to accomplish to do a series of quests from level 1 to level 3. You will have 3 level 1 dungeon quests, then 3 level 2 dungeon quests, then 3 level 3 dungeon quests, and then 2 dungeon quests in the Darkest Dungeon until you finally meet the ultimate boss. So, an evil. Yeah, absolutely. So, we all play together against the system. It's a cooperative roguelike dungeon crawl RPG game, right? So, that means the dungeon will be generated randomly every time we play a new game. The interest of this game is that you keep your characters throughout the game, and you try to level them up. Of course, we have the mini here that I can show you. We will all play with painted minis. The game comes unpainted, but we will give you some tutorial to show you how to paint them. On the board, you have the level of the character, so he's level 1. He can level up to 3. We have the name of the character. Here is his dodge ability. I told you I was a bit slow, and he has 0 dodge, whereas the Jester, for instance, has 2. He's much better at dodging. This is my hit point, so that's a lot, pretty much. I think I have,
The most
hit points of all of you. But this is a step, right?
That's a movement speed.
Yeah, this is the movement. So I only have 1, which means I can only move 1 when on a tile. This is my resistance. So I'm resistant to stun, and I have no immunities. So resistance is not as strong as immunity, but we will see that later. Here is my Hamlet power. So that means when we are in the Hamlet phase, I have a special power. We all do, but we'll see that later. Here is where you put the dice. When you are at death's door, that means you could be killed by any blow. Then you put this dice here. In the final game, this will be red. So let me also mention that this is a prototype. This is not the final material. It's going to evolve as we complete this Kickstarter. So when you are at death's door, you put your dice here. Here you have the stress gauge. So you start here. When you reach 10, then you start over, you get an affliction or a virtue, and then you start again. And if you reach 10 again, then you die from heart attack. Let's hope this doesn't happen. Then here is where you put your skills. So you have to choose 3 skills when you start your game. So I've chosen mine. So I have Smite, Zealous Accusation, and Stunning Blow. We all have chosen our 3 skills out of 7. An important thing to know from now is that you have here the stances you can use your skill with. So, for instance, Smite can be used for the aggressive stance, the defensive stance, but I can't use it for ranged stance nor support stance. Zealous Accusation is the same. I can only use it if I'm in the first 2 row of stance. And same for the Stunning Blow. I did this because I know and I anticipate, I know that I'm going to be in front of everyone. So I decided to use 3 very strong stance with the risk if by accident I'm at the back of not being able to use them. When you start level 1, you have 3 skills. If you level up to 2, then you will be able to choose a 4th skill. If you level up to 3, you will be able to choose a 5th skill before you enter a specific dungeon. Then you also have a spot where you put your diseases. Here is where you put your disease on next to your board. Your quirks, right? You can put up to 3 here. And then you also have your, on the left side, you have the trinkets. Most of the things you find in the video games are back here, but you will see that they really have been done so that you play a board game. It's not a video game, it's a board game, but you have the same feelings. All right, so how do we start a new quest?
I wonder. I wonder.
So we have arrived. We have arrived at the Hamlet, and we are given a first quest, our first quest by the caretaker. So he's asking us to get rid of the evil that lurks in this area. We receive 2 quest cards, and we're going to choose one of them. So let's draw 2 quest cards. This one and this one. I will show them here. So we have either wipe them out. Again, this is a prototype. There's a little typo here, but that we will correct. Or rising threat. What do you have on a quest card? You have the name of the quest. You have the background. You have here on the top left. Sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. These are the campfire, yeah. So when you have this number, that means if you have cleared a room, you'll be able to use these points to spread them among us so that we heal or relieve some stress. So in those 2 quests that we have, this one will give us 12, which is a lot. This one will only give us 8, but maybe this one is a little less dangerous, we'll see. Then you have some lore. The monsters and holy presence tainted the very opulent halls of this estate, casting dark shadows over its ruins. Thus, your orders were quite clear: slay them all. It's clearly a kill them all sort of mission, right?
As the name suggests.
Exactly, wipe them out, exactly. So on this card you also have how many room tokens you have of which type. This one says you have 2 empty rooms, you have 1 dark room, you have 3 battles, and you have 2 traps, right? And then it gives you how many experience points you can earn depending on a specific condition. Here it's 1 experience point per combat room cleared. So that means we can earn up to, let's see if you heard. 3, yes. Up to 3 X points, all right? The other one is Rising Threat. You want to read it for us?
Yeah, sure. So, time passes and the demons grow stronger as they cast a heavier shadow upon your very existence. That's why you are tasked to enter the ruins and cull them their numbers, putting them to the sword. So in this one we will have to also cull monsters, but every curio room we find, so room with treasure we can loot, would have a battle. So this is much more dangerous, honestly.
You think so? What do you guys think? Should we try the wipe them out, which is a very straightforward kind of mission, or should we try the curios? What do you think, Antoine?
I think we should go for the wipe 'em out quest, because if we do the other one with the curios, we still have to battle 3 times, but there's the added
risk of the
curios, yeah. And
that's not wrong. That's pretty.
Yeah, I'm not sure we're strong enough to handle all the negatives that will come.
I mean, we're level 1 characters, just beginners, so maybe we should try and just take it easy, right?
Yeah. Maybe listen to the voice of reason and
for once.
Yeah.
So, do you agree, Séverine?
Yeah, I totally agree because I know that curios are pretty dangerous. And I know that I'm unlucky. So then I will get all the
you don't want to
stuff.
deal with too many curios, because
Yeah.
we'll have to deal with curios anyway in this game.
Let's just lessen the blow of chance.
Okay, so we'll choose. You agree, Erwan, with this
absolutely,
choice? Okay, we'll choose the wipe them out mission.
The fiends must be driven back. And what better place to begin than the seat of our noble line?
Oh, and before we do that, before every time we start a new mission, we have to choose a boss, right? So, depending on how many bosses you have, and that could depend also on how the campaign goes, because we have 3 bosses in the core box, plus there might be some new bosses unlocked during the campaign. You pick a boss at the beginning of the game, and this will have an influence on 3 quests. So for this first quest, we have to draw a boss. So we have done it, and we have the, let me show who we have. We have this guy, the Necromancer. So he will be here, and he will have an impact on our 3 upcoming dungeons, right? And so we have a card for him. After battles, remove non-unholy monsters from the monsters deck. This persists between dungeons until the Necromancer is defeated. So what does that mean, Antoine?
It means that every time we battle someone that's not undead, is removed from the monster pool. So the further we go in the dungeons,
the more undead
the more likely we are to battle undead monsters.
Okay, so this is it. Then there's a special rule of summoning, which comes when we reach the
boss fight.
The boss fight, yes. So we don't need to read it now. And if I turn it over, then you have unsettling silhouettes. So graveyard is blocked. This is for the Hamlet phase, so we don't need to take care of this now. So now we just follow what the quest cards tell us. It tells us that we need 2 empty rooms, 1 dark room, 3 battle room, and 2. And then what we'll do is we will draw a dungeon layout, a dungeon card. So we have done it. So let's discover what it is. So we have here the dungeon layout of what we're gonna do. So now that this is done, I will put them just here randomly. Okay, I just put them randomly on this map, and that means that the dungeon is ready. I will put the little mini to which is a little torch. I will put it here to show our position on the dungeon, and then I think we're ready to go.
Yeah, I think so too.
So let's just mention a little bit about the dice. So you remember about the at death's door dice. We will each start with 1d10. We have provision dice, which are these dice. Then we have exploration dice. So the first thing we need to do before we enter a dungeon is to roll for provisions. So we each will roll 2 dice, and we will add up all these provisions to a common pool, and we'll explain how it works. So please roll. Okay, so I got a torch and
some food.
This is food, and then I have some food. So torches will be very useful. Every time we have a courier, it can negate the negative effect. I know this because we have been a bit traumatized by some couriers in the past, so I know this is something I would definitely do. Or if you enter a dark room, you can get some stress because of that, so using a torch is useful. Then we have food. Food means that if you are in the tunnels and you have a hunger for food, it can happen in the exploration dice. That means removing a food dice means you don't suffer any penalty. It also means at any time that you could, for free action, you could spend a food dice and gain 1 hit point, right? So, I mean, these are 2 pretty good dice. What did you guys roll?
I rolled 2 food.
Okay.
So we only have 3.
Now we have 3 food. What did you roll, Séverine?
I rolled a tool, a shovel.
A shovel or a tool.
And
and
this is a bandage.
And a bandage. So let me explain to you what this is. So the shovel or tool means when you have a rubble, you can spend this shovel to get rid of this rubble. Otherwise, you will have to do it with your own hands, and you might get hurt, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, you do.
And this bandage means if you bleed, because in this game, as Batman would say, you will bleed. Right?
A lot.
A lot.
So if you bleed, this can stop the bleeding. Or, again, just like food, you can also use it to
Heal. Yeah.
to heal. Here we have shovel,
Okay,
so that's for you.
Yeah,
You have a shovel and you have a potion.
that's it.
So shovel, we know what it is, so we will add it to the first shovel or tool that we had, so that's 2. And then the potion means if you have a blight effect, because you could be poisoned in this game as well, right?
Yeah. In
Yeah.
addition to bleeding, yeah.
Unfortunately, you can.
So you could get poisoned. So if you have a blight effect, you can negate it immediately with this dice.
It also relieves 1 stress.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
you use it.
Yeah.
this is it. Okay, so we have our provisions. We're ready to enter the dungeon. So let's do it.
Here we go.
So let's enter. So as you can see here, we are, this is the entrance. So we have our little token at the entrance. And before we enter the first room, we have to go through tunnels, which are represented by this dotted line. So I will put here, and what do we do when we enter tunnels? When we have to explore them. And how do we explore them? We roll 2 exploration dice. So we hope, there are some sides that are dark, that means nothing happens, but you only have 1 chance out of 6.
So
Let's see.
let's hope.
Oh,
Oh, that's lucky.
What a great
so
throw.
I was not lucky, but Antoine got two. Look at, he got two.
Two blank faces.
Yes, two blank faces. So this is Antoine, this is me, this is Erwan here, and this is Séverine. So, how do we choose who goes first? Well, we have actually, I forgot to mention, we have to decide our stance before we enter the dungeon. And I told you I would like to be first, so I was first. So the Crusader is first. The Crusader is first. Then the Highwayman decided to be second. Then the Jester chose the third stance. And at the very back is the Vestal.
Yes, I'll just carry you all
So you see,
as always.
1,
As always.
2, 3, and 4 stance. So we could change this in between rooms. We decided this before we entered, that we wanted this position, but you can change that in between rooms. And then during battles, you can only change one stance by spending an action, but we'll see that. So I'm the first one to play, and that means I'm the first one to choose among all the provision dice whether I want to use them or not. So I have a trap and I have a curio, which are two very bad rolls. So if I want to get rid of the trap, I have to spend a shovel dice, and I'm definitely gonna do that. And I don't even need to ask permission to the other guys. But then if I play bad, if I'm not nice, they won't be very nice to me as well. So that's the risk I'm taking. But I know they need me. You know, at the beginning. They need some heavy hitters, and I'm definitely one of them. And then we have the curio. So what happens when we get the curio? That means I need to get a curio card, and I have to decide before I pick this card, I have to decide whether I'm going to take the negative effects or I'm going to spend a torch light to prevent this from happening.
You wouldn't spend our only torch.
Would you,
Well,
Nabil?
I'm the first guy, so
It's the only one. We can't.
yes, but
we need
who
you.
else has one?
I also have one.
You also have one, but you're a jester, and you're on 3rd rank, you're not gonna be hit, so if I have to choose between you and me, I'm first, you know, I'm gonna be hit by the enemies much more often than you are. So I'm gonna take this torch.
Okay, so I'm gonna choose who to heal first as well.
Hope you don't regret it.
Well, I have 17 hit points, that's gonna be fine. Okay, so second on the stance is the Highwayman. So, you have a rubble. No, you have food and you have a rubble.
Yeah, a robot.
Yeah. So to get rid of food, you would need to spend one food provision.
Yeah.
We still have 3. Or you suffer 2 hit points per level.
Yes.
So you're level 1, so that would mean 2 wounds. And then you have the rubble, so you would need 1 shovel. Otherwise, you would get, I think it's the same, right?
I think it's damage and stress.
And stress.
It's 2 each per level.
Yes, it is.
So I'm gonna get rid of the hunger because we have enough food.
Okay, so you take 1 of the 3. This, you get rid of this, okay?
And
What about the
for
rubble?
The rubble. Am I gonna use a shovel?
I mean,
No.
It's pretty early. I think you can afford to take it. Honestly.
Okay, you will take the trap then?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to. I wouldn't lie to you.
Okay, so I'm gonna use a shovel.
You're
I
using
wasn't
the
lying. I
shovel?
wasn't lying though. I would really take the trap.
And so
yeah,
here it
but
is.
you roll
We've
that.
been playing for less than 10 minutes and our group is already
In shambles.
in shambles.
So you want the shovel?
No, I won't use the shovel either. I think we should keep the shovel
Keep
for
the
later.
shovel?
Yeah. Since it's fairly early in the dungeon still, we can still afford to take some stress and damage because we can heal. So I can heal
Okay.
stress.
So
and
what,
they
can you
heal
remind, because I'm not sure I remember, what is the effect for the rubble?
You take 2 damage and 2 stress.
It's as many
so-
damage as your level,
It's twice your level.
twice your level
Yeah.
for stress
Okay.
And damage. Yeah.
and damage.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna take it because you asked so.
We can
And
afford it.
and I'm kind today.
Yeah. Today is the key word here.
Without tools of iron, you must rely on flesh and indefatigable purpose.
Here are your wheels.
Okay, so she's
you.
saving our provision dice. So, well,
Yeah.
he's saving the highwayman. Okay, then it's the jester.
Yeah.
You have a trap
Yes,
and you have a curio.
So just like I said, because I'm not lying, I'm gonna suffer the trap. I won't use our only shovel for a measly trap.
So, the trap is actually a dangerous thing because the trap has. You will have to roll a dice, and if you roll a crit, you take
8 damage.
8 damage.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
How many HP do you have?
10.
Oh.
Okay.
So the trap could pretty much, if you
It
if
could
you, if
end
you
my,
roll,
my life, yeah, on the spot.
and it has an accuracy, I think, of 8, but minus your dodge. What is your dodge?
My dodge is 2.
So
We have 6.
yeah, you have.
I have good chances of dodging it.
Okay, go ahead. Roll your dice.
Oh,
And I just got crit.
that's a
trap.
crit.
Who would
That's a
have guessed? Okay, so
Okay, so you take
and I
8
suffer
damage.
8 damage?
Carelessness will find no clemency in
What I
this
had.
place.
Yeah.
As I said, I know who to wheel first.
And we still have a shovel though. We still do.
And now you have a curio.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Leave nothing
still have
unchecked.
fortunes left. I'm gonna have to.
There is much to be found in forgotten places.
Okay, so you tell us what it is.
It's a decorative urn. An urn holds ashes of the departed. As you grab the offering, a feeling of guilt washes over you. Your remorse is only interrupted by an abrupt pain, as you notice a tiny spring blade slashing your hand as a hidden compartment with some provisions is revealed. So, can you show the cards to the camera?
Yes.
So we're gonna gain 10 gold, which I'm gonna add to the party loot here.
Yes. So as you can see, as you will see on this card, decorative urn, 10 gold. So we earn 10 gold, which is very good because it's for everybody. That's very good. Then he has a negative curio. Then he has, as you know, his hand was damaged. He has a bleed for 3 turns, and then he gets an extra provision dice, which is more than welcome.
So let's do those in order. So first I'll take a negative quirk, and I'm gonna develop a slight fear of the unknown. So whenever I find another curio, I'm gonna have 1 extra stress. Adding on to myself.
He's afraid of curios. Oh, poor Chester.
I mean, I'm just not gonna roll them again.
And then,
Ever.
do you have any resistance to
To bleeding? No.
To bleeding? No.
No, so I'm gonna take 3 bleed. So for 3 turns, I'll take 1 bleed damage at the beginning of my turn.
Okay.
So since I only have 2 health left, I'm gonna need you, Antoine. Or it's gonna go really bad really soon.
Okay. So, just to explain how stacks work, when you receive as in this case, 1 bleed for 3 turns, you take 1 bleed tokens. You stack them in a pile and you put them next to your board. And at the beginning of a battle phase, you look at all of your piles and you take
Take the topmost tokens and you apply their effects. Yeah.
So that means at the beginning of a turn, he will suffer 1 damage. And because he's got only 2 hit points left, this is a bit of a problem. And then you got an extra provision dice.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna roll that right now.
That's a new shovel.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
So I could have used that shovel. Maybe I should have.
Okay. Is
We'll
your
never know.
your negative? Well, your curio. Okay, we have finished. Oh no, then it was Antoine. Antoine, what did you roll?
I
Nothing.
was lucky enough to roll nothing.
So this is very, very cool.
Give
Okay.
me some of that luck, please.
You
Oh
see?
no, I've used it all up already. So
This is perfect. So we have explored, and now we are entering our first room. So we're here, and I
we're
will
gonna
reveal the
what's
first
under it.
room. What is it gonna be? Oh, it's a battle room.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we start
Okay.
with the battle immediately, and I don't know if it's good or bad. Well,
I'm gonna run really
we'll
fast,
see.
really far.
We'll see.
Please.
So when we enter a battle
And
room, we
run
need
up to me, please.
we need to draw a room card. This is a spiked pit. Let me show it here. This is a spiked pit. So it shows which tile you need to get. So we are in the ruins. So we are only going to have ruins tiles, and it gives you the special rules for this tile. So here we will have some little red splashes. So in the A1, that means monsters standing there will heal at the end of the turn, will heal for 4. So we don't want them to stay there in this one, in the circle of power. And then you have the spiked pit where heroes and monsters alike that are pushed or are standing here at the end of their turn take 3 damage and suffer 1 bleed for 3 turns. Okay, so we will keep this little card next to the tile, and we're just simply gonna put the spiked pit tile.